Say for some time now, what say see the cost roll dollar bar form, dollar nickel form, and the NAC, UBC, and for gossiping for yenya politics. My catcher say Hanomo, yenya politics. There's no way I may politics. What I say, drama about me can was him. But when it comes to CD and dollar, I'm be now for me. Say claiming the CD in there, menya experts. In tiende, makako pe experts. Abba, or a neutralist, makoko chima. Mampe obia okita party flag bia na medina ba na be ka say bia o we da be nti oba be educate ye on the so far as cedi any dollar no concern say there na AC obi na echim dollar no obi na push cedi no oba be chem ache ni din Mr. Emmanuel Ishan. Mr. Emmanuel Ishan, welcome. This is Gossip 24.
Thank you, Clement, for having me.
I'm so happy to have you on our platform. I'm going to introduce you kakra wadaroma sene bi obi hwewa e je bia na obi wo hono hu wo Ghana ache wo say o Mr. Shane bia menunu ha betu introduce you kakra.
Yeah, from Emmanuel Shen, me a Ghanaian, but I live in the United Kingdom. Me a chartered accountant and financial analyst. I'm also, a researcher at the University of Chester. So my research, I cover fintech and how financial technology could be used to mitigate economic crisis in developing economy. So my current work, and I'm looking at Ghana, and so I think this is a little bit about me.
Yeah, that's it. So it's when I what's in the background, what I say, a researcher. So you'll be as a bunny say be a same or yeah there. It's Mr. Shen. Recently, I saw on Casawo. Currently, me say me you see tap cent. Me send it $1. 10 CDs in a kakra so previously maybe 16 CDs and over. To the layman no. At the end of course, what is happening?
Well, I think the idea ama way aba inflation and I say you see the no I week. And maybe our baby say inflation ama cano as saying.
Exactly, so, because inflation the okay. Once maybe I'm to the market, I may not understand what is inflation. So inflation no, for change,
So inflation is when the prices of goods and services cost over time.
Okay.
And that means the isikana uwono and then and yet the same thing to say they are using and run. And so maybe our market sell ukoto brodo. Now okay 7 cities. Meanwhile, no, last year the same time no ukoto sapano no and I say brodo no. Now you have 5 cities. So that is inflation.
Okay.
And there are factors that cause this inflation, no, and that is when it's can be brave system and corresponding to the production levels,
Okay.
and I say when the demand for goods and services increase faster than supply. Remember our example.
Example.
So you find say fuel prices are going up. It means that transportation prices are bedding a cost, right?
Yeah.
I hope that makes sense. And the transportation prices are cost so that means that so many essential goods like in normal
yeah.
So inflation sometimes because I encourage spending in the spending so a driver no so drive economic growth what you say. So it doesn't have to be too high because when it becomes too high let's just say a cost of living na cost meaning cost of living no meaning obi with me aboa me say they overturn
yeah fine say anka say dia fine say dia o market ya be 100 cities right me 100 cities the enso hwe me dey ko dey ma it mean to am rent impo.
Absolutely.
Maybe so first 100 cities which me to rent ama me nya bibi kakra bi we do so na there but this time around due to say inflation it no ma me to same 100 cities no ma me to me rent impo. I'm sure say bia say na o say
and no purchasing power no reduce akofom you know, the ultimate ton ni na no the boom and the ultimate ton sabiem. It's say you know ahoden no sika na ahoden no I akofom. So that in a simple sense, that is the meaning of inflation.
Well, so this inflation, no, first, no, not if na Ghana Gina with respect to inflation in here, na somebody ebia asesa anything ebia say na waka say inflation na ma sisi a your dollar no you hu ni say bia $1 equivalent to be 10 cedis as to previously and $1 to be 16 cedis no.
Inflation no, I think say over the years no Ghana inflation no was slow. But over here I'm saying I think say Cedi no why den kakra. Na nyama bebre na ama na banisa.
Yeah.
That's because exchange rates for the Cedi no akosoro kakra. You know, what the compare dollar na just say amane musu kakra. And so say no na say betia say and say idea a friend exchange rate and so I say.
Yeah.
So exchange rate no to say I'm fancy say I say was cash bottom and say was the bank.
Yeah.
Say you know or per se would saska we won the value or dollars and no say ebi asasika no send ebe ma wo dollars no ne exchange rate nti mami kam so but opesa okasa betime bisasa
o na person me bisasa nti say me sesa me sika efi cedis mo akọ dollar no ahia cedis na be kita no ebe ma me dollar no na exchange rate no.
Absolutely. So it's essentially the value of one currency compared to another, right? So and also my main example kakra na we for better say year, you know. So you find say and then you have $1 a 12 Ghana cedis. I have some kind. And that means that you need 12 cedis to buy $1. So we can say that the exchange rate is 12 cedis to $1.
Yeah.
And that matters actually. So that way very important to the economy because you know Ghana no we import so many goods and services.
Now economy is almost imported French fries.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's something that I want to talk about, like say Kakra, you know, because Nina will impact on the performance of the city because importing good you know goods priced in dollars such as fuel, electronics. We also import machinery. So if the city weakens against the dollar now, imports no. So import here, I would say a dominating, you know, economy, no, very expensive, which will obviously include, you know, like sort of increase the cost of living.
That means that people have to change their cities in order to be able to import goods into the country. Into no always, no. Say I was also some city that said they be an $1.
Yes,
because we import more.
And so dollar no so no say akwa no ho say oba. You know, say penna no just the value. What you say, not just the value now then akosro. So that and then no normally say and some of these situations no you see supply and demand factors. You know, BBM no say nipa like cost say you pay. Now they no the value na akosro and also the price no nam. You know, so it means the price will go up as well. So that's how the behavior in the currency markets, you know, that's how they behave.
But baby, I say, of course, ebia enya Ghana kwana ye importing nyoma, right? Enya Ghana kwana ebia de bia na ye kra nyoma fi abuchire ni ade na toothpick kra na ye kra matches kra na ye kra na ade.
Yeah.
But adding tina over the time no, me share chat be the last time Cedi no edu be 10 cedis no was about be over 4 to 5 years ago. Right? Inti adentina over the period no, you who say Cedi no kosro, na Cedi ne sa, na Cedi ne kosro bet 13 cedis, 14 cedis. Adentina over the period na yenya such changes no. Was it say be na Cedi no nkofo said am pe. Ana say
Cedi dey on say dey no no dey tebia say ye pe. What you say? Now so Cedi no you know na behavior no it's impacted by factors a be domestic a be so external. Make domestic and I just say Ghana And I extend also the cost of manonia impacted Ghana no. And you know the city's value no fluctuate due to factors like inflation, no, and a trade balance and investor confidence and as a government policies, right?
Okay.
So like I said, these policies, this concept here might be bossing in nano, and in nano, a bit me, I'll link it to the supply and demand factors,
Yeah.
and so the dollars we need, and I said the more the dollars now per se you keep,
Yeah.
the cities becomes weak, and sanity and vice versa. So almost here you see the Nepal, and so you see the bedding, and who bedding. Then sanity and you know if you said the can imports more than the exporting
Yeah,
and
export
so
no.
and so demand
But
for
point here we will say, I mean, with respect to trade balance, no, right? So trade balance
okay
instead that honor, right?
yeah
But
yeah
point here we say investors.
yeah
So doesn't mean say investors why research? Why a lot of research? Doesn't mean say
yeah
investors no. Say be a be invest to no. Interested in say be you invest we are young crassy na say the na like investors no ABR say if that is the case and yeah ma omuni jisa on be cry sika no see this one.
I mean there are so many factors ever my investor like I said may invest in a given in a particular economy right if it is a investor to say you be increase tariffs on goods on the bagana in fact obetena ho I mean I ho din ebi ho kra na we make a statement and I be and say never be which
Mhm.
I think so recently I mean I don't have that on fact but then I've listened to commentaries on the fact that there were companies like multinational companies in Ghana that had to move out of
Yeah, they
Ghana
have to pull out. Yeah,
to neighboring African countries. If I
yeah,
imagine as a way investor, now what is asking where you don't need to go into details. Obe shake first, right? And so
yeah,
never so what is the ebe show mine more obekasa America kakra. And
yeah.
no, I mean we can there's a concept of an efficient market hypothesis, right? That means say amount 40 for instance bad news about a given product or commodity and as a shares
Aye.
it declined sharply and
Pa.
sana they even begin to investigate so
Okay.
that is how investor confidence can say a dampener ever drive the behavior of the
Now
city.
I you see the I am
Yeah, and that's obviously due to the inflation
now I see the I am. So let's look at
absolutely.
this. Say and no name I see the name. What has changed?
That's a very good question. But so I will take you back a little bit, and so we said about a bit me perspective. Now, yes, to it is our conversation in the context. It's phone so a bit and so
Yeah.
yeah. So in 2023, according to the data, no,
Mm-hmm.
Ghana trade deficit widened to approximately 735.5 million dollars, and that was up from 584.7 million in 2022, and so there was quite a political uncertainty and investor concerns na yakano
Yeah.
for a weekend year for your currency and so for example when Ghana faced economic challenges in 2024, that led to a depreciation of about 19%, and that was against the dollar. Mind you, we are still using the dollar as a base currency,
Yeah.
and that was influenced by both domestic and external factors. And so now I would want to take you through a few of these factors which are significant for your discussion. No,
Yeah.
and so the back on a high external debt servicing cost, and that
Okay.
is. Ghana's external debt reached at that point it reached 452 billion Ghana cedis. What they call US dollar more now 31 billion by mid 2024. And that constituted 60.1% of the total public debt stock. And so yeah, na the kapa
Near the
what I
cap
say,
2024 no. By mid
ankasa ankasa.
2024 no.
Yes, that kind of
Okay.
dozen. And so we are 61% of
Yeah,
the total public.
60.1%.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, and I convert it on, and so
Okay.
this is an approximate figure. So
All right.
it's 60.9. So
Okay.
yeah, run here, then we will get about
61.
61. What
Okay.
you say? So the depreciation of the city increased the local currency cost of servicing these debts. and that was a very big strain on the government. So obia we invest now teach now I mean, very careful kakra what you say. And another one, energy related foreign exchange demand. So there was a significant demand for foreign exchange to support energy related payments. That was also a pressure on the government. So now, also at that time, there was pressure on the economy. And you know, a cocoa board financial challenges now because there were uncertainties around the financing arrangements of the Ghana cocoa board, and that affected foreign exchange inflows as well. You know, and also can't see the no way no. But kwa me pese make can sana yako enim way the friends limited foreign exchange reserves no. And also a US dollar no. Currency be mine bebree and as a countries bebree even including central banks and financial institutions no. And we using as a store of value. And you know around this time period now you can mid 2024 now at one point you know Ghana's foreign exchange reserves were as low as $4.1 billion that only covered 2 months of imports, but the recommended minimum is 3 months, so we didn't even meet the minimum, and that all this eroded investor confidence and my investors so more confidence and echo from.
So
these are some of the examples.
These factors are bobo so no nyoma e see the bar form.
Yes.
Drastically in 2024, like from 2022 to 2024.
Yes.
Trade deficit no, debt service no, and after so no, it's sika here foreign reserves no. Emuno. Na from you to me 3 months na required no impo. So baby says hi no money and na be na who say you see the no be $16 no $1 here to be 16 cedis now. Currently $1 10 cedis. Right. Sign no money fix here now.
Temporarily. Temporarily, because you mean get confidence say dollars is here 10 cedis not just say energy and to the end relax it. No. I wouldn't advise Obia say on relax it. There's more work to be done. And you know, the attendant say the current figures as I just said, Ghana has been experiencing trade surplus, which is good for any nation, right?
Trade surplus no. Level na see anything.
So the enema export it. Say tiffy they are importing more. Just they are exporting the dozen. That means omo di edwa. What you say?
Okay.
Omo di edwa. And so no just say sika ban your bottom. What you say?
That means you see balance not tilted towards your advantage. Right? Trade balance now kind of earlier no.
Yes.
See towards your advantage say. See exporting more than senior before you importing no.
Absolutely. And so no say trade balance no yen trade balance na February 2025. So as of February 2025 no na trade balance no and I say surplus no and na $911.5 million US, right? That and not start say the end and later end of 2024, you know, that was in December. So you better in December no there was a trade surplus of $565 million US. But even before then no, not in August no, that was actually the peak. The peak was in August, so and we recorded a surplus of $682.3 million US. But say if you had the full year 2024 now, Ghana achieved a nominal trade surplus of 44.7 billion Ghana cedis. So the nominal trade surplus the identity inflation making any adjustment to be any the raw one no. So but at the TBB feeling is the inflation from there being the real balance now and not in deficit of 4 points, which was still better than the previous time, you know. But the factors that contributed to the trade surplus is like government interventions or policy interventions. A bit to say in 2024 now the gold exports reached 11.64 billion US dollars, right? And
Oh,
that gave Ghana a very big boost, because this formed about 53.2 percent increase from the previous year. Oh, so now
okay.
who's a Juma Komupa, and so this surge absolutely, I mean, was our country.
Into where one of the things are a boy in from August 2024. Yeah, maybe be 2025 more, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. And I bet so if you small scale mining and so small
Yeah.
scale mining, no, the legal side of it. I'm not talking about galamsey,
Yeah, Galamsey from the was mine.
yeah.
Yeah,
I think people there are organizations that have obtained licenses legally
yeah,
to operate on small scale mining, and they also contributed 5 million US dollars of gold exports, and which was quite good. So we can say that the policy initiatives, such
yeah.
which is Rebecca said recently, there has been an establishment of gold
Good
board,
board. Yeah,
yeah, to streamline the purchase of gold and reduce smuggling and enhance earnings from gold sales. So this initiative add to the stabilization of the city that we are seeing now.
yeah.
Yeah. So
In short, no, Obeka say you focus on the trade balance no, per the lecture or man, right? What I deduce is say focus on the trade balance. That means say gold may play a major role in our trade surplus. And I said, yeah, there are other factors of say be a Ghana, you dread and no ababeka, but rather no a gold no policies are put in place from 2024 to 25 yɛahyɛ mu kina no ɛna ama gold dwadie ɛde mfaso abrɛ ɔman Ghana. That's what I'm deducing from the trend you are setting for me here.
yeah, I mean, gold, gold na bon home body pa, and no, I mean, yeah, exporter, gold need more cotton pa or export. You say to me, Ghana exported crude oil, exported gold, and some other commodities, but gold in the major, if I'm saying export,
Okay.
contributed to about 15.6 billion US dollars, and so yeah, you can say, and no, a pushy Ghana balance na pa.
Okay. So you mentioned another thing. Say your debt, no
Yeah.
assistance now, no yes, service debt, and I say yes, service debts.
Um, I'm not too sure. I've not done extensive reading about that. But what I know is that at some point, the IMF, Emma Ghana, ahomegye kakra sɛ ɔmfentua ne debt, and so that means the public spending was reduced, and all these things no affected the strength of the city, because it means that yɛka no ɔmo de nti ɛma yɛn ho yɛn den kakra. So if says arrangement necessary, obviously we wouldn't we would start to see that say bia city no ebia be decline kakra, because you started to cut na say bisa. So I'm not too sure what has happened to that arrangement.
Yeah,
Right.
it's see, I know me check up on sir arrangement, no.
Right.
Say there be
Good.
nkofo can say their settings and I say be. But
I
once
know.
me check you up on that particular arrangement. No. Say me obi a me didra na say be a me wo dollar wo ho no mo. Me hu say sisi a $1 here to 10 cedis. Previously be na me wo dollar na 16 cedis a. Wo as a financial expert and say researcher no. If you to ben adba me yem hye me. Me nkoton me dollar no. Me nye ne den like if you to ben.
Um. Well, what I was saying is that Sanka Ubisam is some way about 6 months ago, and as
Yeah.
of last year, Mecca say okay, invest in currency, buy currency to say dollar, because dollar no amount for who na safe haven say currency fluctuates and koyema o country fashion dollar mo, because dollar no dey and shada and depreciate sir. But and then no me exercise a caution when I'm giving you this advice. Make actually say diversify, right? Diversify and say be able to invest in some commodities like gold, and
Yeah.
I say real estate, and I say maybe other foreign currency. I would name say strong. That's because say if your commodity like gold, it will be
Yeah.
a different negative beta. The negative beta nature and say ɛmfa sɛ currency market or say the ɛkɔ obia nim ejide biem. Nanso no
Yeah.
gold no behave in opposite direction, and no obetumi store wealth no in those commodities, but we need to be cautious and so say the store of the gold no attract fees and a cow home. But
Okay.
also gold no volatile, which means a bedu baby nso a and also price no betumi asesa kakra, but ne nyinaa mu no na sɛ memfa obi sɛ woyɛ obi a wowɔ sika bebree a memfa nhyɛ baabi frako, just nkakra sɛ da bɛyɛ wei ankɔ yie a na wowɔ wei, so you need to
Now backup into also backup.
you need to diversify kakra. Yeah.
So another question, whilst maybe I will go through that particular way. From where Ghana has been to and where we are currently. So and away on my Ghana, what would be some of the lessons I will be sharing from say maybe Ghana do 16 cities. Sisia you do 10 cities. So one away on my Ghana as a financial expert, the lessons now nka we share film would be too home for say bia on my fufu do or honma ebia wo hwe a ono so ne currency e di kan obetu no for say onye sine be ya on kosati bia na Ghana ko mu embebi no.
That's a very, very excellent question. So you hear countries like Singapore and Switzerland who say they have very strong currencies, and the research has indicated that they got where they are through disciplined fiscal policies, and then export diversification, and also stable governance. And fiscal policies are fiscal minor Ghana, if I'm saying Central Bank of Ghana and penny for bets no I should just say okay a bad day exchange lending rate and all these things you best just said by Emma or minor say nim no amount for be emphasis in the currency and the export arrangements and embasha so said by the ambaka bia na edi chiri into so omobo one so omo hia mo a omo enjono ho nka say okay yenye say because in him say Ghana be responded, so prudent economic policies a bit me aboyan, so Ghana can learn from them by reducing reliance on imports, and then improve local production, and also maintain investment. Of course, when we increase capacity and we increase production domestically, driving investor confidence. I mean, a boosting investor confidence, right?
Of course.
And then and through transparent economic policies. These are some of the things that I think that say a status say I mean, we may not see the result overnight. It may take time, kakra, but with time, no. If you don't say so, it be increase your self-reliance. Then when we talk, the world will listen.
Okay, and also, say talking as the world will listen. As dollar about 10 cities, but Shatawale in your can as them say dollar about 10 cities, but market women in feel it. Church drivers in feel it.
Yeah.
Why is it so? Why?
I think last week or so. I think this week I can't really remember. But I'm say almost say a
GPR. Yeah. 15%. So we are reducing 15%. But still, I was almost reducing. There are some scaffolds circle.
Yeah. There has to be some regulations in the economy. The attendant said before ye who say sikana kosro ye sidi na kosro no if it's a service sectors no ebetimi adjust quickly, but than the manufacturing sector no, because they may have inventories, right? Akwakoto if say bia obi ton phone na enfa phone here example, wako phone if UK, Germany, in America, wherever, and they be going to shop more crying or ton. So phone or iPhone, whatever, or ton be £1,000, and I say of an influence of an week. They say, or the buyer, there has been a manifestation of performance of the city and in favor. You
Yeah.
know, nti hwɛ sika nipa no kukuru yi a ɔde kɔtɔɔ
Or
saa
the
deɛ no so
kotosa way, no.
ɔde bɛgu no na ɔka kyerɛ no sɛ sɛsie no economy no ayɛ apɛkɛnt no ɔyɛ den
On
ɔnyɛ a
so.
ɛsɛ ɔnte so deɛ ɔbɛte so no ɛne deɛ ɔde saa sika ne mfaso a wonya wɔ economy no mu no saa sika a
Yeah.
wonya wɔ economy sɛsie no ɛde bɛkɔ akɔtɔ nti ebi a 3 months later anaasɛ ebi a 5 months later deɛ ɔbɛkɔ akɔtɔ no ɔde sika ne ho sika no ɛno ho mfaso
Yeah.
no waka ɛwɔba abɛtɔn a ɛnyɛ te sɛ tete deɛ no
Yeah.
nti ɔno ɛna ɔbɛtumi ate so nti no ɛbɛtake time. You know, it better take time for this to, say amount for a bit feely. So that is some of the reasons why, say to me sustaining the city
Cedi. Yeah.
behave now a bit man and yeah immediately, but I think say I sustained it for a while. I think say do better 2-3 months. I think say it started from
Yeah.
mid-April or so.
From March, from late March.
Absolutely. So
From
your
late March and it started.
and as
Yeah.
you say, you June until we should begin to see say amount and into me sure say GP for ammonia burn because ammonia say you see and say fuel na kofomo fuel na boa kofomo
Yeah,
and I
fuel
say
moving from 16, previously now around 16 cities. See, about 13 cities, honum baby. Coins ka crabby a day tree.
yeah, obviously, I call for me. So now we should begin to feel it. I answer, and I think say the enforcement must work as well because when in Ghana, be a person or you're rich, and a crime be or be the be I think say any brim. So what was I want to say? Of course, there has to be some sanctions because and fair,
Yeah, no,
yeah.
fair, there, no fair. But in all, no, do you think say seed in the between about a strong view?
Um. My simple answer is yes. A bit me strong, but
Strong to what rate?
well, it will be difficult to tell because it depends on both domestic and external factors. For instance, you can external factors to say they are. U.S. China
Yeah,
trade wars and
because you're not affecting.
it's true because if say you see dollar now as a base rate, obviously when the world is looking at us, the world will have confidence in the city, especially given the gold, airborne homeboarding and the
Yeah.
economy is really performing well. But because consider being say so trust, dollar no trust, US China
China no.
area, then what next?
Yeah, you be fancy no.
The confidence they ever check a crack but best start to say pursue prudent economic policies I ever amount for saying young GDP what you say say here Russia Ukraine so the war geopolitics at the moment amount for say Ghana some joy am I taking that advantage at the year economy so let's enjoy it while it lasts. Having said that, the city can strengthen if Ghana improves its exports, right, and
Yeah.
reduces borrowing, and also control inflation. I mean, these are factors that what do you call it? Central bank and
Okay.
Bank
Bank of
of
Ghana.
yeah, will have to take seriously and build up foreign reserves. Only medical can say it don't be now instead of having a certain amount, that's what
Yeah. Now
if we didn't even have the minimum,
Yeah.
and these are things that we need to because when the world is looking at these things are a dampen confidence
The confidence in your local
in
currency.
us. So policies that encourage local production, that attract foreign investment and stabilize government spending will help us to restore our currency. So that will what I would recommend.
But me pese o ma me rates. Say bi a wo hwɛ market no bi e kɔ no ne ade na. Wo hwɛ a seed no bi a the last stop between say because me hwɛ obi see seed no in forex terms almost bullish ana
Yeah.
right? If we are seed no kɔ no and hwɛ the dollar maybe do be 3 cedis. But
I
also
mean,
why
I know I'm whammy,
but
Go
also
on.
why experting. We should be a seed no kɔ na projection. Say bi a ha na be seed the last stop and I say bi a seed which we have about sorobium. I be do this point. I want to be a better stay, and I say a better hockey. Okay, senior Yoma corner.
Well, so and it must stabilize that. But I think so to a larger extent, the appreciation of this of the city is largely driven by external factors, right? And
Yeah.
say say the say US Aerostorm and took NASA more rift and all with the
China.
international whatever. I think so. It should we should see about maybe 15 to maybe 7 in my project, and that depends on what the so policies now or more
Yeah.
domestically cost to say gold board and a oil for there's another one I can't
Yeah.
remember something for
Good,
oil.
good, good. Right. Instead of
Yeah.
dollar, no.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the good never call for oil.
Absolutely, that one. Yeah, yeah. So these are all domestic factors.
Yeah.
Say if we pursue ebe buayama yeah yakosoro kakra. But obviously, I foresee say adeno be declining kakra. And because US know, I believe they know what to do to gain confidence again. 'Cause these things happen, these geopolitical factors that affect currency over time. So it will restore. But I believe that given the policy interventions I also see, say koswa sa na fancy kwemwa. I believe say a bit me baby. The world wanted to see a commitment from Ghana to servicing its debt. We earlier on
Yeah.
mentioned how high the debt were.
Yeah.
When I talked about the challenges Ghana
Of
faced in
course.
2024. So this commitment to actually restore value and actually pay kind of edawano. I start to say the confidence about the global market and the IMF no. So, these are some of the things yet to me a pushy in the world economic front, and so I think it's a good it's a good thing, and finance minister trying to reach out to negotiate and yeah debt any terms and how I buy ya between ya kano. I mean the whole shemwa meme de ka na say bia watchme I mean feel na bia me papa and I say bia menua bia ba on chan be ka cho say o menim say menua ne yebusua ejapade na e ho no menua na edenim no na nke so tua
Yeah.
nanso no sese no me na sese no me be dia de ntino me den me ba
Next
betua
year.
obenya ne mugidie right
I will never do that.
on fam ma okra na obenya ne mugidie so
Yeah. Maybe
I
our
think
mouth may say, oh, my mouth make a class says, I'm way do now the wait here. Okay. Okay.
uh-huh. So
Okay.
all these things help, you know.
I get the message now. I get the message now. And you know, Mr. Shen, so what my Ghana for you now or final words or summary on this whole city versus dollar battle at Ekoswa. What will your message be? Gossiping for sure.
Okay. My message, simple, very short. And I say, you see the no, you bet me a mujidi. Na say you be the no mujidi, and I just say, yeah, mind mo. You know, dying a bear, and I say increase the production, politician be can ask them, say domestication and
Yeah.
and so let's encourage local production. Now, exporting more than borrowing. Saying saying in fact say a full agriculture, for instance.
Yeah.
Say to me, on a very large scale. We have the resources, we have the land. We have all it takes to produce agric in large quantities. Now the qua, say the qua. Let's just $1 never chasing a city no.
Yeah, no mba turn your money free a hon into mo de omo the dollar ne be my.
Aha, and you see the no and hoba bamfa so.
Yeah.
What I say, and say no, and no, ebema na appreciate it. I feel so no, say, I buy, and I say, men can't buy, so, because this is not a political show, and I am
Yeah.
right, and I'm not
Oh,
sure,
right, right. I mean,
yeah,
right.
yeah. And so no, as a central bank, no, so no, said your master to more, you know, we would want to see more prudent economic policies. Cedi no, I are well respected. Na amount for the music is in Cedi now, mujidi. What you say? These are some of the things. And as I buying so some foreign reserve na a depleted, you know. Say you start to say in yesika yɛmfa nyɛ akasesɛm anaasɛ yɛmfa yɛ deɛ ɛho hia yɛ minimizing your spending no na mmom yɛsie bi because yɛnyina yɛden yɛnim sɛ dollar no ɛsan yɛ friend sɛn
ɛwɔ ahoɔden
and a base currency so and on many other countries now almost all especially financial institutions and central banks in different countries know that we should continue to increase our reserves in as well in this space. So policies that encourage, as I said, local production, no, attract foreign investments, and so and also stabilize government spending, no. And I think say to me, yes, you bet me I restore confidence in the city, and to know that's what we need to do, I guess.
And you know, maybe the mafia minister will can't pay good at all.
And to golden kwa, for Kakaso, you know,
and maybe a silver.
Real estate, real estate. I won't say it's I mean, the can't asem.
Yeah, of course.
Was I say boy performed and now what your business or be else as
they be appreciating value.
So absolutely. So these are some of the things. So let's diversify, you know. $1 and $2 and as a pound so because we be a bit messy, you know.
Of course.
Banasa na I say
what's I know is cash now you must show it's also diversifying. Mr. Shan, whatever must be a show episode reach out to you. There will be a social media so him fan who Twitter, be our Facebook, media name quine maybe go for no own name quine him fan which me who one idea.
I've usually interacted with people through I am a director of companies, and so Ghana for more UK there, I interact with a lot of them. Director our Two-Part Accounting Solutions. We are a chartered accounting firm and auditors as well. And to know and to know Google now type a Two-Part Accounting Solution. We'll information behind us. Call we'll search it on the website at www.twopartaccountant.com. I've not really put myself out there on social media with some of these things. Absolutely, because of this work. And I think it's something that I've not done really well that I have to pick up because at the end of the day, I want to reach as many Ghanaians in UK as possible. And that's how far I want to go. So in the coming weeks, maybe next time when we talk, I'm going to be able to sort of share my professional social media handles with you so that you can even promote me, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's about twopartaccounting.com. Koho nako search Google twopartaccounting.com obe home station.
Two-Part Accounting Solution.
Yeah, you know. Accounting Solutions obe home station. Honum. Oko Facebook edini Emmanuel Ishan. O section honuma obe home profile. Nice man or chiller off.
I mean that's it.
This is this is priceless. You understand? No bias, nothing. Honest. Lecture from a researcher, Mr. Emmanuel Ishan, and I just saw the August 24. So no, I hope some most of it match my comment section. No more. Send a video kind of question. Be up so bizarre. We may financial expert. I'm not expert, no. It's in about how fun. Edna Ban. Yamisha. So, this particular episode, August 24. So, the best way share bill.
On show, so.